Likewise, dude. Can't wait.
Well, let's start right off with the one of the bigger ones on Saturday. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars coming off that win against the Los Angeles Chargers, taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Puma, who you got win this game, bro?
Dude, call me the psychopath.
Same.
I'm taking the Jags.
I'm taking the Jags too.
I'm taking the Jags. And listen, if you're looking on ESPN and you're looking at the matchup predictor, the Jags have essentially 22% chance of winning this game. But here's the thing, we saw the lowest of lows from Trevor Lawerence, and you can attest to this, Jay. I know you're going to hit this, in your segment about this game, but Trevor Lawerence has a pedigree going all the way back to him being essentially in elementary school of not really knowing how to lose a game. And we saw that in Clemson. And, he looked rattled. He looked rattled a lot down the stretch a little bit. And, in the Tennessee game where they had to win and get in to win the AFC South. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought this game was a wrap. I almost changed the channel last week when it was 27-0. Chargers, but Doug Peterson, man, that guy's got onions. He's got more onions than a grocery store, and he did not give a damn. He's like, we're going to throw ourselves back into this game. They really didn't go away from kind of what got them there, and they put the ball in Trevor Lawrence's hands, and Lawrence made mistakes, but his receivers had some crucial drops. But I think this group as a whole kind of went over that mountaintop, and I get it. They have a huge juggernaut in the Kansas City Chiefs on the they're on the road going into Arrowhead. But I think with that adversity they faced last week, they at this point they have to be feeling themselves and saying we can essentially come back from anything at this point. And I think you're going to see a heavy dose of ETN. Christian Kirk, hopefully he gets rid of the stone hands, but I like Trevor Lawerence to squeak out a win here, probably a 1-point margin of victory. It's going to be close, but give me the Jags.
Yeah, same here, and I will ride that fence with you, Puma, just because I think what makes the Jags win against the Chargers so special is the fact that Trevor Lawerence never flinched. Trevor Lawerence put on a show of some of the worst football we've seen in the playoffs. And then the second half, it was some of the best football we've play out of quarterback in the second half. So what makes it scarier is the fact that now it's basically known that even if they're down by 27 points, they're not out of it, right? These guys are going to keep slinging it. And it makes Trevor Lawrence scarier that, no matter how big the difference is or how bad he's playing, you can't count this guy out. And obviously it's not, I'm not comparing to Tom Brady, but young Tom Brady was that guy. It was no matter what happened, in that Falcons Super Bowl when they're down 28-3, no matter what happened, you always knew that guy was lurking. And obviously Trevor Lawrence has to do this 3-4 more times for us to actually put him in that class, but that's what makes him so scary. I thought for the longest time, Justin Herbert was going to be that answer of the guy that's going to take down Mahomes or the next great AFC quarterback that's going to rival the big dogs. Maybe it was Trevor Lawrence the whole time. I came away thoroughly impressed with Trevor Lawrence. I've always thought Trevor Lawrence was, I'm not saying overrated, but I always thought that he was, his lore was bigger than what he actually accomplished. I mean, at the end of the day, he was surrounded with some of the best talent possible at Clemson and in his high school days. So, I mean, yes, he's going to win most of those games. Last year was a complete train wreck with Urban Meyer, so you can't glean too much off of that. And there are stretches this year before he went on this hot streak before Week 9 where he wasn't the best either. So, it's this late coming on that's what's so impressive for me. And it's the best time to come on is when it's late in the season and the playoffs. So, I'm looking forward to this game. It's one of the best games of the weekend. It's going to kick off with a bang. Obviously, everybody thinks the Chiefs are going to steamroll, but do know that Jags-Chiefs game was late in November was closer than people would think, right? It was 27-17 was the final score. Trevor Lawrence put up 259 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Jags offense wasn't really the problem that day. It was a defense that day that just gave up. That didn't put up much of a fight at all. They let Patrick Mahomes do whatever he wanted. 331 yards, 4 touchdowns. You got to figure out a way to slow them down. And if you can keep it in the 20s and Trevor Lawrence can score 27 points, I can see this being a Jags victory. I mean, that would be absolutely insane.
Dude, can you imagine the hellscape that the NFL would be? You have the Jaguars take down pretty much the golden boys of the quarterback class in the AFC, and they steamroll their way to an AFC championship game. that would be the most wild storyline ever. And the spread and the total. I mean, the spread's at Jaguars getting 8.5 points. The total's set at 53. The money line is Jags plus 340 right now on DraftKings. It's minus 425 for the Chiefs to just win on the money line. I mean, dude, like I said, I'm the psycho that has Jags plus 8.5 and Jags money line is one of my best bets this week. And I think, Jay, to your point, like this feels like it's going to have to be a big Josh Allen game, right? And on the defensive line, not Josh Allen, the quarterback of Buffalo. Believe it or not, there is a Josh Allen plays defense for the Jags. I mean, it's going to have to come down to, are they going to be able to contain Mahomes? Because we've all seen, like, they've been, people have been able to get home, and he figures out a way to slither his way out of pressure and move the chains type of deal. I mean, this is going to essentially be like the definition of, like, gap discipline, edge discipline, everything. So I'm hoping Josh Allen has a big day to disrupt this passing game, but I can't wait. 4:30 on Saturday can't come soon enough.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting because obviously the book on Patrick Mahomes is if you keep him in the pocket and you make him throw from the pocket, that's when he's prompt to make most of his mistakes, right? If you let him slither to the right, to the left, like you said, Puma, he's going to carve you up. He's going to roll out, get those 2-3 seconds he needs to have a wide receiver come open, 50 yards downfield, he's going to fling it down there, and it's going to be a massive game. So keep him in the pocket, obstruct his throwing lanes, and you could force him into making some mistakes.